thanks for stopping by to talk with us today. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, thanks for having me, first of all. My name is Jennifer Gross, and I am the women's basketball coach at UC Davis.
Cool. What do you do at your job, and what do you enjoy about it most?
Well, I actually do a lot of different things. I think a lot of people just think that coaching is just showing up for games and practices, but it's really a lot more than that. I think, one thing that I love about what I do is the relationships that I get to build with our players. And the cool part is that those relationships start when they come to play for us, and we get to coach them for 4 and sometimes 5 years.
Wow.
But the cool thing is that those relationships last forever. So I actually get to stay connected to them even after college when they're figuring out their careers and they have families, and then they come back for our alumni days. And that's one thing that I do really love about this job.
It's so fun. So when did you start thinking about coaching?
Yeah, good question. I think for some people, they sort of know what they want to do their whole lives. That wasn't how it was for me. I knew that I loved sports and really wanted to find a way to stay involved in sports if I could. And for me, that was started out in like sports business. So I was doing like sports marketing, and PR and things like that.
Cool.
And then I happened to just go to one of my old high school games, and I saw a former coach of mine, and she actually said, "Hey, would you like to help me out?" And so I started coaching, and within one day I sort of said, wow, this is what I'm passionate about. I love this. I felt like I had this unique set of knowledge that my coaches had kind of given to me, and it was sort of this neat opportunity that I had to pass that along to other players. So I got into coaching at the high school level, and then I got an opportunity to coach at the college level. And then I found my way back here to UC Davis. UC Davis is where I played. So I am an Aggie, and I got to play my career here. And so to have the opportunity to come back and coach here and coach the next generation of Aggies is really special.
Oh my gosh, that's like so perfect though.
Thanks,
Okay,
yeah.
so do you have any advice for students who like to play sports?
Yeah. So I love that I get to coach at a high level. When players, by the time they get to us, they've already sort of put a lot of time into their games. And that's actually one thing. Another thing I love about our job is that, we get to take, the things the players have already learned, and we get to enhance their skills and help them develop new skills, and use that to help them achieve everything they want to achieve in college sports. But for young people, I would just say, find what you're passionate about. For people that love sports, I would just say, if you really want to be great, just pour into it. You can't be great unless you really work hard at it. So whether that's basketball or soccer or gymnastics or theater or singing, everybody's passionate about something else. But to be elite, and that's what we look for at our level, we look for players that are elite. You have to work really hard at it. And that drive kind of has to come from inside you. And I think in order to really want to be great at something, you have to figure out what you love.
Yeah.
And so once you find out what you love, you just got to kind of work super hard. I think once you feel like you've gotten to a certain level, then sometimes it's okay to go out and ask for help. Maybe find a coach or find some other people that know a little bit more about the activity that you're trying to be great at. And, just keep pushing yourself to get to that next level. And that's when it gets really fun. So.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. What did you like about being a student?
Coaching is you're always a student. So it kind of goes hand in hand. I really enjoy learning. I enjoy learning about all kinds of new things. Even if you've been a coach as long as I have. So I've been a coach for, probably over, about 25 years.
Wow.
Coaching youth, coaching high school, coaching college. What I find is that there's always something new to learn. And so, if you just keep doing things the same way over and over and over again, you're not going to continue to evolve. And the thing about a career like I have in basketball is the game is just always changing. And so as a coach, if you're doing the same thing again and again, it kind of stops working. So you have to learn. And I think the cool thing about being a student, whether it's of a sport or, whether it's math or science or anything, is there's so many great resources out there. So for us in coaching, there's podcasts and videos and film. And so we have access to all that. And so I can say, hey, I saw that this team did really well this year, and I can pull up their film and watch and see things that maybe we want to add to our team, which is really cool too. And I think, that, just being a student is the same, I love learning new things. I love finding new things out. And so that's pretty cool. I think, there's so much with all the resource and the technology these days. It's easy to learn if you're curious. And I think, being curious is something that's really important.
Moving on, and kind of with the same learning topic, do you read anything for fun? And if so, what kind of reading do you enjoy?
Yeah, I love to read. I enjoy, whether it's reading with my kids, or just, I do tend to read, things that I feel like will help me in my career. So, whether it's, books. So coaching is not just about the sport. It's not just about basketball. It's about creating the next future generation of leaders. So for me, in our program, we do a lot of leadership building. And so I read a lot about leadership and how to help people be better leaders. But for fun, I like to read everything from mysteries to, I like to find a topic that I'm interested in and just read about that. So lots of different interests. And like I said, anything my kids are interested in too, I find fun to learn about. So
I feel like my favorite genre is probably mystery too.
Yeah.
I really like that kind of stuff.
What do you like about it?
Probably just that there's suspense.
Mm-hmm.
I like a book that you really want to read more and more.
That's my favorite thing. People always tell me oh, I read before bed to put me to sleep. And I'm always like, I can't put the book down. Yeah. I just want to keep reading, and it keeps me, then it's a good book if it keeps you up all night.
Okay. Are there things you especially appreciate about the Davis community?
Oh, yeah. The Davis community is so unique and special. And so another part of my job is recruiting. So, it's not like in high school where the players just kind of live in the area and show up. We recruit players from all over the world. So we have players from as far as Sweden and Greece. We have international players, in addition to having players from more local. So, the Davis community is one of the big things that I love to share with our recruits. And just being part of that small college town where everybody's riding bikes, and you might be downtown and you're going to bump into a friend for sure. Yeah. You're going to see somebody that eating at a restaurant. And that familiarity is really fun. And that's what I tell our recruits. It's we have this amazing big campus, but it's also this really neat community where you're going to feel like everybody. Yeah. You're going to make tons of friends. I love the fact that everybody in Davis just seems to smile and be really welcoming and be really friendly. I love being in a community that's like that. I also love that everybody loves to be outdoors here and do fun stuff outside, because I'm very much outdoorsy too. So that's pretty fun. Trying to find fun things to do in the community is not very hard. There's always fun things going on.
Yeah. My mom likes to say that Davis is sort of like our world Sesame Street.
Yeah. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Okay. Is there anything that you wish we had asked you about today?
No, I think, like I said, I think, for people that really enjoy sports, coaching seems like maybe a good avenue to go into. And I would agree. But it's not just about the practices and the games. There's just so much more that goes into it. And there's a lot of aspects of coaching and sports as a profession that can, that people can get into. So for us, I mentioned recruiting.
Yeah.
We do a lot of preparation, like we watch film on the other teams to scout out all of their plays and make sure our players, are prepared going into the games. But then if you look in our department, there's people that work in marketing. There's people that work with the statistics. There's people that work in photography. There's so many cool aspects of sports, whether it's at the collegiate level or at the professional level. And I would encourage anybody that has a passion about it to reach out to me or to anybody in our department and say, hey, what is your job? What do you do? How can I get involved in this? Because sports, especially women's sports, right now, women's sports are on the rise. Women's basketball, the tournament just had its highest ratings ever. And there's so many cool opportunities to work and to help continue to help women's sports grow. And so I want everybody to know there's a lot of cool opportunities to get involved. You just have to ask and reach out to people like me and say, hey, how can I do this too? So that's one other thing I think I would share.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming to talk with us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Those were great questions.